I'm Stefan. I was born 32 years ago in Switzerland. I moved out of there when I was 2, so I don't remember anything about Switzerland. I moved to New Zealand from there.
With your parents?
Yes, with my parents.
Because I had a guy here who was found at a bus stop at 3, so just...
I know, it's dramatic, but it's not that dramatic, my story. So I moved to New Zealand. I lived there until I was 5. Sister was born there. Then we moved to Brazil. I lived there for 15 years, went all school, went in Brazil. And like in my last year of Brazil, it was kind of like that awkward time in your life where people are like, you need to decide now what you want to do for the rest of your life.
I know, yes.
And
What's
I
up
was
with
like,
people, right?
All my friends were musicians.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, being a musician is cool. And I was like, yeah, Stefan, but you play the guitar very badly.
Yeah.
Not that ever stopped anybody.
You got the tattoos, man.
And I was like, man, okay. And then I went to hang out at my friend's, at my best friend's drummer's house.
Okay.
And he was talking about how he used to paint on his free time. You know, I was like, being a musician is cool, but being an artist, that could be cool too.
Okay.
You know, I wanted to do something cool. You know, it's like I didn't want to be an accountant or an engineer or whatever. I'm not that good with numbers, so it couldn't work.
Should I get some swag,
So it's like, you know, I was like, I wanted to live a sexy life, you know, and being an artist is sexy.
And get all the rings and stuff, you know?
And I was like, okay, I can, musician, cool.
Yeah.
Artist, a little bit less cool, but like, I can do that. I was like, I can accept that level of coolness. And then
like the second best, right?
I used to paint all of my life as a kid. He was like, here's some crayons and some paper. Leave me alone for 4 hours. Okay, Mom. Sure. And then I decided, like, I'll just be a professional artist. You know, it's like, how hard can it be? And then I moved to Argentina. I started my career in the sense as like I painted my first painting before moving out of Brazil. I got to Argentina. I got back to painting, and I decided like, so I'll just like go visit a gallery and say like, hey, I'm an artist. Let's work together. So it turns out it's not work like that. It doesn't work like that. They looked me up and said like, who you? It's like, I was like, oh, you need to be famous to work with the gallery. Okay, write it down, you know? It's like, first rule of being an artist, be famous.
It's pretty much with everything is the same story.
Exactly. But that's when I kind of figured out.
You get famous first and then you get recognized,
and I was like, well,
weird,
but if the galleries don't want to show my work because I'm not famous enough, and I cannot be famous because galleries don't want to show my work, there has to be a way to break that catch-22. And then I just decided, it's like, I'll just do my own exhibitions. You know, how hard can it be? So around 2010, I went to my favorite bar. And so, like, you got walls, I got paintings. You know, I'll make an event. I'll bring some people. They'll drink. They'll buy beer. You know, and I'll get a chance to show my work. And they were like, yeah, okay, let's give it a try. So I hooked up with like 3...
You didn't ask for a commission yet? You didn't ask for a commission?
No, that came later. First I was just waiting for a place to
you were young and unexperienced.
Nowadays I would have asked money for the privilege of letting me host an exhibition in their place.
Right.
But I just grabbed 4 of my artist friends and said, like, guys, let's make this happen. And it went great. Like, all things considered, you know, for my first exhibition, it went super good, and I was super happy with the results. The bar was happy. We were happy. You know, everybody happy. And it kind of dawned on me, you know, it's like, I can wait until galleries start paying attention to me, or I can create a buzz and have them notice me.
Like, just by yourself?
Yeah. So I figured, you know, it's like, I'm not going to wait sitting down in my studio. It was my balcony back then. Whenever it rained, my paintings get rained on. So
that's where I get the style from, you know, like the dripping paintings.
That's why I never did something that was
you got really famous for his dripping painting style.
So I figured out, it's like, I can wait until those opportunities come, and it will take me 5-10 years to do anything in the art world. or I can just buckle up and do as much as these punk rock exhibitions as I can.
Yeah.
It's like I kind of would like, you know how like musicians busk and play in the streets and, you know, trying to break through. I did that. I exhibited in cafes and restaurants and hair salons.
But mostly your work, or you try to like involve some other
like
artists.
From day one, I noticed like I'm okay famous. You know, I got okay amount of friends. You know, I got maybe like 20 friends that would come to an exhibition. But if I get 4 artists that have 20 friends each, you know, that's 80 people, you know, and that's 60 people that get to know my work that didn't know before. Yeah. So I figured out that...
So you started to hustle, basically.
Yeah, and I started hustling for myself and for other artists.
Yeah.
Because I figured out that they were going through the same problems as I was.
Exactly.
So... So yeah, since my first exhibition, it was always me collaborating with other artists, and that just evolved. We went into like 2 years after my first exhibition, I opened an art magazine called Azúcar.
Yeah.
And
was it online, right?
Yeah, it was a hybrid mix, weird format, especially in 2002. So it was a
2002 it was.
No, 2012, sorry.
2012.
It was a postcard that you would get for free in bars and restaurants with a cool artwork and a QR code for you to download the magazine.
Yeah.
Or you could view it on your computer. The thing is, it's 2012 in Argentina. It's like not a lot of smartphones
it's like
going
96,
around.
Right?
In the world. So it was a great success, but that you know format didn't got as adopted as I thought it would.
Yeah.
But the magazine is still around today. We moved into a website a couple of years after, and that magazine slowly evolved into an art gallery, because each time we started a new edition, we would get artists from all around the world to send their work. You know, to be in the magazine.
How did you get first attention to the magazine? How did it how did it work with you? Like, how did you find the first readers, the first subscribers?
The thing is like each
people?
one of them had like 40 different artists participating. So it was 40 different artists posting on social media like, hey, check out this cool magazine that just published my work.
Yeah.
So again, you know, if I was doing that alone, you know, this was way before Facebook ads were like a super real thing, you know.
Yeah.
So
2012, I think it was pretty real.
But not in my brain.
Yeah, not in most people's brains.
I don't want to give money to Facebook.
Yeah, dude.
I still don't. But well, then. So the idea was like all the artists participating would become ambassadors, you know, because we didn't charge anything to be the magazine. The magazine was free. So the idea was just like this critical mass of artists, you know. And
so basically, artists kind of pushed themselves, but then you were the one who kind of stood in front and kind of operated the whole.
I just facilitated, you know. And then for each time we launched a new magazine, we would do a group show with all the artists that participated. Yeah. And so at the end, it was only natural that the second evolution of the magazine would be an art gallery. Yeah. So we opened I opened a gallery in 2012. In Buenos Aires, in this super cool hipster place. Yeah. We had it for like a year, and we did art fairs. We did the whole shebang. And
what's shebang?
Shebang is like the whole activity, the whole. Okay. We did exhibitions in our gallery, and then we would start to get hired by bars or restaurants that would pay us to do exhibitions in their spaces. Wow. Which is like a little pretty cool flip from my first exhibition.
From that first one, right?
So I had the magazine there. I had the gallery for a couple of years there. Then I moved into a gigantic house in Buenos Aires and just said like, I'm not gonna pay rent. I just moved the gallery to my living room and had like private dinners for collectors and parties in the weekends. You know, with like bands playing in the backyard and a DJ in the living room. It's like, I don't want to brag, but it's like pretty cool. It's pretty cool. The house was a total dump, but the parties were cool. You know?
Yeah, right.
Like,
that's the most important thing, right?
I would say it was very boho chic, you know, but you know, it's like. So yeah, and at the time then a friend of mine from back from Brazil went on tour, came on tour to Europe, and
as a musician,
yeah. And he was like, "Bro, Berlin is cool. You know, it's cheap. They like art. It's cool." I was like, "Okay, put that nugget of information in the back of my head." And then a couple of years passed. So that's 2015. I broke up with my girlfriend, and the option was we had briefly moved in together.
Yeah,
it lasted 2 months. Oh, maybe
this way everything went to shit.
Maybe it wasn't a good idea moving in together, but you know. And
do you think it was like it was meant to be anyway, or
no? It was like a shitty relationship, and it's like moving in together kind of saved me from the drama of why don't you want to move in with me? But it's like, you know, it's like it was super toxic. But
okay.
So we broke up, and she was like, "Yeah, sure, I can buy you half of the camera that we bought together, and you can move back to the big house that you know your friends still live there." I was like, "No, I'm leaving the continent." Yeah, ciao.
Right, like not interested.
Yeah. So I spent 6 months, you know, kind of like figuring out how to live in Germany.
Yeah, like
what would living in Germany imply?
Yeah.
And
bureaucracy. Well,
oh yeah. It's like the health insurance thing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I did my research in advance. It was way worse when I got here.
Good for you, man. Yeah.
And
I didn't do any research, man. I didn't even look at pictures of Berlin. I literally sat on the plane and was like, you know.
Yeah, the thing is, I was born in Europe. Like Switzerland is just around the corner from here. Yeah. But I never came back. I never came on a vacation. I never came on a school trip, anything like that. So it was really like just like let's drop this kid in a parachute in Berlin. Luckily, at the time I was able to convince my sister that wanted to move to Canada that she should come to Berlin with me because it's cooler than Canada. Yes, and she accepted.
And what it is now? Is she still like it? Or she's in Canada?
No, she's about to drop everything, screw Berlin, and move to New Zealand next year.
Yeah. I mean, good for her.
Yeah, I'm not going to New Zealand. It's too far away. But we just basically packed our stuff, 2 suitcases each. Yeah. One of my suitcases was clothes, and one was art.
Oh, yeah. You took all your stuff.
No, everybody else's. I figured I can make new stuff here. I don't need to bring my stuff. Yeah. I can fabricate more art as I wish. Yeah. I brought everybody else's art because I knew that I wanted to continue in the art world.
Okay.
And then I just like carbon copied everything I did before, like exhibitions in bars and restaurants, hair salons, you know, writing emails to every single magazine and publication, you know, like real hustle, like real groundwork. And it started to
literally did the same thing. You basically try to repeat the blueprint that you had before.
You don't make changes on a team that's winning.
Yeah.
You know? So if it worked somewhere else, it will work again. Yeah. So I moved here in 2015. In 2016, I opened a gallery here close to the Gorlitzer. Mm-hmm. Not the most sophisticated part of town, but it was a lot of fun.
But it's so hip, you know.
Yeah, the opening parties were epic. And then I kind of focused a lot onto selling art online. Mm-hmm. I figured, you know, it's like there's such a big market in Europe. Yeah. Why am I going to focus in Berlin? And especially because, you know, they say like everybody in Berlin is like broke. Yeah. And nobody buys art here. Yeah. And I figured out it's like paying rent for a gallery that doesn't sell a lot of art here. Maybe I can just use that rent money into online strategies and sell worldwide. That's a lot more.
One idea, right?
And it's been working so far, you know.
Right, tell me more about it. I mean, like I feel like every artist in the world wants to sell online for everybody in the world, and how did like
you can buy anything you want online, so why not art? Yeah. The thing is, a lot of artists, it's funny because it took me a lot of trial and error, and I kind of condensated all of this into a 6-week course that I've been doing for artists since January.